Your Excellency, King of Lesotho, former President of Botswana, colleagues, ministers, and all the invited guests here, young people, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends, a pleasant good morning, still morning. It is in fact a great honor to join you today at this inaugural Berlin Climate Mobility Forum. I bring you warm greetings from the smallest independent nation in the Western Hemisphere, St. Kitts and Nevis, that at its widest point is only 5 miles and its narrowest a quarter mile, and from the wider Greater Caribbean, where resilience is not a slogan for us, it is our daily practice. Now, the Caribbean is a crossroads of cultures, of civilizations, of struggle and strength. For centuries, our people have moved by force, by trade, and now increasingly by climate. It is this new wave of movement, climate-induced displacement, that brings us together today. For our region, climate change is not a future possibility. It is a lived reality. Each year brings more intense storms, longer droughts, rising seas, and increasingly unpredictable weather. These forces threaten our economies, our cultures, and most of all, our homes. Now, in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have watched the sea eat away at cherished coastal communities. In Old Road Bay, we have had to resort to high coastal revetments blocking views and sea access we enjoyed for decades. At Half Moon Bay, a beach resort no longer has a beach. The imbalance in rainfall patterns is causing droughts, then followed by heavy rains which lead to landslides directly affecting our freshwater sources. Water scarcity has become more pronounced. We cannot provide 24-hour water supply. Where rainfall has decreased by nearly 20% over the last decade alone, and groundwater is increasingly saline. Communities have therefore faced years of water rationing, forcing us to now be constructing costly and energy-intensive desalination plants. Even our marine environment is shifting. Sargassum seaweed blooms now clog fishing harbors like Date Bay. Our beaches at our hotels threatening livelihoods and coastal ecosystems. Yet, we in St. Kitts and Nevis count ourselves among the fortunate. In recent years, across the region, countries have had to welcome families displaced from Dominica after Hurricane Maria, and from the Bahamas after Hurricane Dorian. Lives had to be shifted after Hurricane Irma that devastated Anguilla and the British Virgin Islands. These were climate migrants, neighbors forced to move due to storms so powerful they erased entire neighborhoods in a matter of hours. In Barbuda, the entire population was evacuated after Hurricane Irma to nearby Antigua. In Haiti, repeated droughts and floods continue to drive rural-urban migration and movement across borders. It must be clearly noted, this mobility is not always a choice. It is a matter of survival. Now, while our regional freedom of movement through the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the OECS, and CARICOM has provided some flexibility, it is not always enough. We must move from ad hoc responses to structured, rights-based pathways for those displaced by climate impacts. In St. Kitts and Nevis, we have taken this challenge seriously. With the support of the Global Center for Climate Mobility, we recently hosted national consultations that engaged citizens, youth, farmers, and frontline responders. What we heard was clear. People want to stay, but they need support to do so. They need early warning systems powered by local knowledge. They need climate-resilient infrastructure and access to finance for adaptation. Also, when movement becomes necessary, they want dignity, support, and the right to return home. We are proud that St. Kitts and Nevis is the first Caribbean country to pilot the community's climate adaptation facility, CCAF. This innovative facility channels rapid funding to the most vulnerable, fishers, farmers, and coastal households, so they can adapt before they are forced to move. Through CCAF, we look forward to investing in slope stabilization in landslide-prone areas, in drought-resistant crops for our farmers, and in clean energy solutions that reduce emissions while building resilience. However, we cannot do this alone. We need global partners to match ambition with resources. We urge you to support CCAF and to invest in locally led solutions that protect people where they are and where they choose to go. Let us be clear about our goal: to protect the right to stay. Additionally, when mobility occurs, to ensure it is safe, it is planned and empowering, which means working together to develop regional mobility frameworks in the Caribbean, strengthen data systems to track displacement and risk, provide education and training to build resilience and opportunity, and ensure that those who move are welcomed and not marginalized. Above all, we must secure a future where St. Kitts and Nevis and the wider Caribbean remains a place our children and their children can proudly call home. A future where climate mobility is not a crisis of desperation, but a tool of resilience, of solidarity, and of human dignity. Let this be our shared commitment, that no one is left behind, that no voice is silenced, and that climate justice includes the right to belong somewhere. Thank you very much.